Hello and welcome to this latest episode of Extra Butter. I'm Eddie.
And I'm Tammy.
This is the third in our K-pop comeback series, featuring the latest releases and comebacks from some of our favorite groups and artists: BTS, J-Hope, ITZY, Icon, Monsta X, Aespa. I'm throwing in Purple Kiss, just to name a few. And this episode right here is dedicated to two of my absolute favorites. One is a group and one is a soloist. So the group would be Monsta X. Yay,
Woo!
yay, yay. And the soloist is Zico. And this is a big comeback for Zico because he is now home from the military. So it's a comeback all the way around. Yay, Zico. Anyway, so let's start off with Monsta X. If I know you and you want to go in time order, we're going to go with Monsta X because they released in April. Monsta X, I love them. They're one of the groups discovered in the BTS bubble, when we kind of hopped into the K-pop bubble. Um, they're one of the ones whose 2020 was cut short. I think they released a great album. It was an English language album, their first one, and even it was so good that you would have never known if someone just told you if this is your first, you wouldn't have known Monsta X was a K-pop group if that was your first time hearing Monsta X. And it was one of my favorite albums of 2020. Still an album I go back to, but this is their 11th mini album, The Shape of Love. Monsta X is one of my groups who I said they on that list, along with BTS and Got Seven, who can do no wrong. They're like the mecca of groups for me. I may not always love every Monsta X song, but Monsta X is going to get that listen. They're going to get the benefit of the doubt. They're going to get that because I realize every group, they're not even your favorites. They're not always going to put out a banger. They're not always going to put out something that you love. But Monsta X is one of those groups who gets forgiveness for that. And I just love them. I love everything about them. I Am and Honey are my favorites. And so yeah, but this is their 11th mini album. They released three albums last year. All three of those albums made my favorite, not K-pop albums of the year, but favorite albums of the year list. So that's just how much I love Monsta X and how great they are and how talented they are. So that was my intro to Monsta X. What's
Okay,
your
wait.
intro
I
to
feel
Monsta
like you
X?
should start it off on like, what did you think of Shape of Love? Because you threw so much love at them right there, Eddie. So now I want to know, like, what did you think of this new album of theirs?
You don't have a Monsta X intro?
Huh? No, I do not, because I'm just gonna piggyback off of yours.
Oh, okay. Um, Shape of Love. It was a surprise to me because the beginning of the year, pretty much as soon as COVID was like, people were like, we were done with it. Newsflash, we're not fucking done with COVID. But that was my PSA, my
Yeah.
angry PSA.
Okay.
But they went on tour. So they released this, they were already on tour when this album was released. So it was a surprise. And I liked it. It's not my favorite Monsta X album, but knowing them the way I do, I know they'll release something, probably at least two others, by the end of the year when they get back off tour. But I liked it. It was good. I I don't know if it's a no skips for me, but I love that Monster X is one of those groups that keeps evolving. And you can tell that they're a group that is falling into that BTS Got Seven framework. And what I mean by that is they're actually one of the few K-pop groups that is now being allowed, or I don't know if they're being allowed or if they're just doing it, but they're taking ownership of their music. They're taking ownership of their sound. I Am co-wrote four of the six songs on this. Honey produced a lot of this, and that has been a trend that has been following their last few albums. So I feel like now we're really getting to meet Monster X, and Monster X has always been one of those groups that's experimented. They're one of those groups that does um, the genreless K-pop thing really well, where they can rock it out, they can slow it down, they can R&B it, hip hop it out, they can pop it out, and it all sounds good. And I think sometimes Monster X, when I say a lot of those groups do that genreless thing, but they don't do it well. Um, I think in a lot of ways they're trying to imitate Monster X when they do some of that. So um, I appreciate them more and more, and they're a group that I love more and more, especially as they continue. And this is a good album too because I think isn't this the first full album that they did without Shonu?
Yeah.
Yeah. And as much as I miss Shonu, their leader who is in the military, you I missed him being there just because when you look and you see a group and it's like you'll see a video of Monster X, you're like, but there's only five of them. And then you're like, oh shit, Shonu's in the military, you know. So I miss seeing him there, but they didn't miss a beat. Not saying that he's not wanted, not saying that he's not needed. It's just I think they did a good job of filling in the blank. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Yeah. So, but I my favorite songs on this are "Love You" and gosh, "Wildfire." And the song "Love You" is the song that's all in Korean. So it's basically, I guess that's how you say "Serengay" or how you would write "Serengay" in Korean.
Hmm.
But so yeah, Wildfire is really good. It's a song, it's an album. I actually you can no skip it. It's something you would listen to. You could just put on and listen to and let it play. And is their OST song, but it's like of the Shonda Rhimes OST. We put in that Shonda category. If you didn't hear the last episode, that's one of the things I've been going with this whole is on every album so far. I've pointed out that OST. And a lot of Korean OST songs sound like they're competing for that 70s, 80s light rock anthem to me. So it kind of drives me crazy, like they saw in Former Leg and just like that soft pop rock, that soft rock thing, and they drive me nuts. There are a few that I like, but this one is like that Shonda Rhimes OST. Grey's Anatomy's fans, y'all know what I'm talking about. Grey's Anatomy always has fire music. Insecure was another show that always had fire music, just great music where I'd have to pull out Shazam and be like, who the hell is this? I got to hear this song. So that's that type of OST. It's the Shonda Rhimes verse of the OST. What did you think about Shape of You?
Um, so, I love Monsta X. I think they, once again, I'm gonna say it. I really, really fall for groups that are very genuine in their bond, and their friendship. And when I don't get the fake vibe, like they're just playing for the camera. And I think Monsta X is one of those groups. They have the talent, they have the passion for it. Everybody is talented, but what I love is that they're all arounders. All around means that rap, sing, and dance is their two youngest members who are also their rap line, who can also sing and who are also really good dancers, which is very rare to see in a group, especially like fourth generation. Third generation, I think that's more common, but when it comes to fourth generation, it's not as common for you to necessarily see that overall. But I love their energy. This whole album, Shape of Love, has that Monsta X vibe. Like, it's Monsta X when you hear these songs.
Mm-hmm.
I love their B-sides. I am a fan of their B-sides. That is their slower songs. That's the ones that they're not necessarily going to put out a video for. They're going to perform it like once in their comeback, and you're never going to see them perform it again. But I love those songs. So like Love You, absolutely love it. The vocals are phenomenal. I went back and the on YouTube when they have the lyrics distribution videos,
Mm-hmm.
because I had to know who was the background vocals throughout Love You, right? All of them did that, like all the whole vocal line did the background vocals. So I think they have one of the strongest vocalists in K-pop in their group, and that's Kihyun, who we call Kiki. He absolutely phenomenal. Loved his CD that he came out with earlier this year. But him, Minnie, who I think stood out the most in this album. I don't know if it's because Shownu's not there. So Minnie stepped up with his vocals, with Shonu not being there. I think Minnie really stepped up, which is Minyuk, is his actual name. And is one of my favorites. Wildfire, I love. And I love their title track, Love. High energy, Monsta X feel. Very diverse discography Monsta X has. Like, if somebody was to ask me, like what's their sound? Like, give me like another group that they sound like. Nobody. Nobody sounds like Monsta X. Monsta X is in a realm, universe of their own. And I love that about them. I love that there's not a certain genre that they belong to. They do pop, R&B. Like you said it already. Like, they do so many different genres. They're willing to try everything. The one thing I will say is they've been doing that since the very beginning. If you go back and you listen to some of their earlier works, like Honey has always had a hand in the music. He's just slowly developed to have more control over producing and writing a lot of their songs, because he's the main writer of their songs nowadays. But just absolutely phenomenal. So Shape of You, really good job. I love it. It's up there with the rest of their albums. I'll be honest, I don't think I've heard an album from Monsta X that is Attica level. And you know how we feel about Attica. But I don't think there's a Monsta X album that I have put on Attica level yet. So they're continuing to do a phenomenal job. Can't wait for Shonu to come back, though.
Yeah, what you were saying, piggybacking off what you said about Manny, I think I think part of the reason why he stepped up is because from what I've seen in the performances I've seen, he's the main one that has probably picked up Shonu's parts, um, and singing Shonu's parts.
Yeah.
So I, you know, and I think that's good for him in the sense that we actually get to showcase his talent. I think he was probably one of the ones that may have been overlooked a little bit, just as far as talent, or who may have gotten the least distribution and line distribution, or something like that. So I think in that sense, Shonu's absence has been good for him, to just kind of give him a chance to showcase what Minnie can really do. Uh, you know, uh, and he's almost kind of like the heartbeat, like the funny guy of the group,
He
in
is.
that sense. So I love him. I guess if Monsta X had a precious for me, it would be Minnie. Um, like I said, I love Honey, and I am, uh, I've always liked them, but I gained a deeper sense of respect and appreciation for I Am with his solo release, of Duality, and I loved it. Phenomenal. It also made one of my best albums, just all around albums of the year for last year. And Monsta X, they're one of my favorite groups. K-pop, not K-pop, just one of my favorite overall music groups. That's how much I love them. And it's getting to the point, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, in more detail in another episode, where I think you'll fit in better. But it's getting to the point where I'm not distinguishing my music taste between K-pop and everything else anymore. It's just, if I like it, I like it. It's becoming just another genre to me, kind of like country. Okay, today I feel like listening to country. Today I feel like listening to jazz or classical or whatever. So I'll just put on. I don't have a certain K-pop list. I just, if I like the song or the music, I'll find a playlist where it could fit in. So and so it's just becoming music, another genre of music, but not this whole foreign thing. No pun intended when I said foreign, but you know what I mean. Um, and yeah, Monster X they do genreless really, really well. And for the groups who are trying to do that, trying to fit all this different stuff into one CD that doesn't mesh well, you need to take some notes from Monster X about how to do it. Um, and it's okay if you want to try different things. That's great. Maybe make that R&B hip hop CD or sound and go with that for one comeback. Then for another K-pop, go with the more just pop sound or another rock sound. But for some of these groups who are trying to throw all of that into one, it's not working. And we were just talking about it with another group. Let these groups, again, recipe formula, I get it, but learn to let these groups be who they are and forge their own identity. Um, and I think that would make some of them, and I know K-pop is making a lot of money, but I think that would make some of these groups more successful, and it would do some of these companies a bigger service, as well as some of these groups a bigger service. And that's just my stance. Okay, so what are you rating Shape of Love? How many popcorns are you giving it?
I'm gonna rate Shape of Love by Monsta X 3.75 popcorns. As always, I think they did an absolutely phenomenal job. There are albums that I've heard from them that just my absolute favorites. But this one was really, really good. Like I really, really loved it. There were some songs that they put out that I wish was on this album that didn't make it, but overall, really, really good comeback from Monsta X. What about you, Eddie?
I agree. Great minds, 3.75. Loved it. Like I said, this was kind of a surprise to me because I really wasn't expecting anything while they were on tour. Kind of hard to promote when you're on tour. But then a couple of weeks ago, we got a drop, a song that they collabed on with a guy named Sam Felt called Late Night Feels. Have you heard it? Is that one of the songs you were talking about?
No, I was talking about If With You.
Oh, If With You is good too. It surprised me because If With You came out, and I was like, oh, okay, this is a shock. And then just a week after If With You came out, Late Night Feels with Sam Felt came out. Both of those
Mhm.
songs are bangers. They're really, really good.
Yeah.
So if you haven't heard the one with Sam Phelps, Late Night Feels, check it out. If With You is also another amazing song with Monsta X. Like I said, they're on my group that can do no wrong. Even if it's not my favorite song, it's Monsta X. They've earned that. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. So
I
I
agree.
can't wait.
I agree.
I can't wait to see what is to come. And I really, you did say Honey has been one of the principal writers, and I was happy to see I wrote a lot of this one because they've been trying. All of them have been trying to get him to write more. And his thing, he said his biggest fear is to write more for them. And he said his biggest fear is he would never want to put out the title track because it's too much pressure. So he said he likes doing that stuff for himself, but it's hard for the group. So
It's
it's
okay.
nice.
Honey's good with that.
Yeah, Honey, it's nice to see them encouraging them more. But yeah, Honey to me is, and I am too, but I love Honey. Honey is just like that all around. Like Honey is probably one of the most talented writers, producers, performers in the game to me. Like I love him, and I'm interested to see um kind of like Sugar, how he's branching out and doing more stuff outside of BTS. I would love to see Honey, and I have to go back and check credits and see what else he's done outside of Monsta X and just producing for himself.
He's done a couple of songs. Like one of my favorite K dramas, Run On.
Uh-huh.
He did an OST for them. It is really, really good. If you haven't heard it, definitely go and listen to it. He wrote it and then he did a duet. I forgot who's the artist that he sang the duet with, but it was really good.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. All right. So, like I said, I could go on and on. We could do a whole
Well,
show
can I say
about
one
the.
more thing about Monsta X?
Yeah.
So there was recently like this poll on a YouTube channel that I follow, and they're asking like who are the strongest rap lines in K-pop. And of course, we can all know who's number one. But the second, the one they weren't. The crazy thing is they were not on the list, right?
What the
Um,
fuck? What
exactly.
the
Like
fuck?
when you look at the list that they gave, it was only I think it was like four groups, right? Like I put out two suggestions. One of them was for a Monsta X rap line. Like I think Honey and I Am is one of the strongest rap lines in K-pop. Like absolutely phenomenal. Their talent is out of this world. And the fact of that, they're all around, like they're all rounders. So they're more than just rappers, but they can sing, and they can dance, and they can produce, and they can write, like just absolutely phenomenal. And then the second one that I put out was Bobby from Icon, and they told me I couldn't suggest Bobby because he's not a rap line because it's only him. So I was like, okay, I'll accept that one. But I was like, Monsta X should definitely be there because I'll be honest and say, out of all the rap lines that are currently still in K-pop, who are still active, Monsta X has the second greatest rap line in K-pop right now. I'm putting it out there. I'm not taking it back. Somebody come fight me over that.
She said what she said, and
I said what I said.
She said what she said, and I would have to agree. I can't disagree with that. You spoke no lies, facts, and you know it's rare that we're in 100% agreement. But yeah, I co-sign on that wholeheartedly. Come for us, damn it. Well, keeping, huh?
Yeah, no, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, keeping up with the rappers. The next one is my boy. I love him. Was he part of Block B?
Yes, he was Block B.
I didn't know shit about Block B. Okay. You're the great K-pop historian. I find somebody and I'm just like, oh, I found this new person. I don't really care what they did at 10 lives ago. Sometimes I do, but when I went down the Zico deep dive, I really did not do Block B. I really did not get into Block B. I've heard Block B since. I've seen Block B since. I'm okay with Z. I love Zico. I fell down another rabbit hole with Zico, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But he went to the military, and time flies because it seems like he dropped a great album before he went to the military, and it's just like, oh, it's gonna be so long without Zico. In the time that he was in the military, Hybe bought his company. He still, controls or whatever, but he's part of the Hybe brand now, his KOZ Entertainment. And I don't know. I was just really excited because Zico is out of the military, which means that Crush, we might be getting a Crush comeback soon by the end of the year. Love Crush because Crush is home too. Yay! Love Crush. And somewhere, somehow, some way, shape, or form, we might get a Dean sighting. I love Dean, the Invisible Man of Korean R&B. Love him. Don't know ever. You never know what Dean is doing until Dean does something. That's why I call him the Invisible Man. But he's really close with Zico and Crush. So hopefully we'll get a Dean sighting or hearing or something soon. But I was just excited to hear from Zico and for him to do something, especially so soon after being out of the military. So yeah, I know. Is Zico still one of your favorites?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So that was my Zico intro. What is your Zico intro? Your Zico story?
Zico story? I started listening to Zico because of my BTS rabbit hole, because Zico is a rare thing in K-pop because he was an underground rapper who became a trainee and then debuted in Block B, a K-pop group. So I think it's most of the time what I notice is it's very different if they are an actual rapper. Like Jackson from GOT7 said something really, really good in an interview one time. He said, I can rap, I do rap, I am not a rapper. And so that's true. Like, because now that he's a solo artist, he sings, he does not rap. So I think like it's different when it's difference between calling yourself a rapper and just rapping because that is the title or the position that you were given in your group. And Zico is a rapper. So I was a little sad because I discovered him right before he went to the military. And I have been checking the internet to see when he was coming out. So excited. a little upset that he got COVID 2 days before his album came out. So he's not able to perform his songs off of his album. He's not able to have a comeback show because he's currently in quarantine. So a little upset about that. I hope that when he's out of quarantine that he is able to perform and have his comeback show for this album. Definitely.
Yeah. This album, by the way, is called Grown Ass Kid. Best album title ever. You had to know that I was just, if I didn't like anything else about this album, I was going to love that album title. Like, and I loved it. And I really, really thought this was a great comeback. Like, I was thinking about it and I was like, it's good for no. The more I listened to it, like when I first heard it, sometimes for me it takes a couple listens just because I might not be in the mood. I might be doing something else. Like I'm the queen of multitasking. So I'll be like, oh, okay, let me put this on, and I'll put it on, and then it's just playing. But I'm like, okay, I can listen to it while I'm playing, but my full concentration is on something else. Grown Ass Kid was that for me. I'd heard Soul Drift and I'd heard Freaky, but I hadn't real or Freak, but I hadn't really paid much attention. And then I just sat down and listened to it, and I'm like, damn, like this isn't just good because he's back from the military. This isn't a good first come back from the military thing. Like it's actually a really good hip hop album. I really, really enjoyed it. What about you?
Yeah, he did not disappoint. The flow, the production, the rap, the singing, like all of it was absolutely phenomenal. I would say it's one of the, I'm not necessarily a fan of like this new age hip hop. Right now, I'm more of an old school hip hop fan, but I would have to say that old school, new school, it doesn't matter. Like Zico put out one of the best hip hop albums that I have listened to in years. In years. Like this was absolutely phenomenal. Like it's to the point where like I hate talking in songs. Hate talking in songs. Like I never fall for a track. If there's talking, I'm skipping over it. I don't care if they're singing at the end. But for trash talk, oh, I was all for it. Like it just worked for me. Like there is not a skip on this album. Like every single one of the songs has been added to my playlist. Like that is how good this album Grown Ass Kid is. Like his flow and his talent is just absolute. Like yo, like I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna say something a little controversial, Eddie.
No, really? You
No. Prepare
never.
yourself. Like I feel that Zico definitely gives RM a run for his money. Definitely. And RM is one of the best rappers in K-pop. Like just in the K music scene. Like just absolutely phenomenal. But Zico, yo, that kid, he got it. Like I don't yo, like I'm speechless on like I don't even know how to put it into words on just how absolutely amazing and talented he is. Like from the opening track, the album was just it's really good. Like it's really really good. Like I'm gonna need him to sit down and have conversations with some of these other so-called hip hop artists or rappers in K-pop. Let him teach some of them a thing or two.
Yeah, what you said isn't too controversial. They're just different to me. Like I was trying to explain to someone, RM, like you know, the easiest way for me to get someone into K-pop is BTS because they're so well known. Um, and so we were watching something, and we'll talk about this more later. We were watching something, and it was the rap line. They were being focused, and she's like, "Damn, I need some words because he's flowing." And it was RM. I said, "Yeah." I was like, "That's the thing." I said he was actually a rapper. you know, him and Sugar were actually rappers in the underground scene, had names and shit like that. So, but I was like, I said, but when I hear RM, like when I go back to his solo project, Mono, I was like, he's more like a Drake. And I was like, but he has flow, and you know me, I just say Sugar because of his flow, how fast he spits. He's like Eminem to me, just you know, and Zico, he's right there. Like Zico has got bars and trash talk. This is how good trash talk is, okay? I went and tried to get the fucking English translation of trans talk, but there weren't it wasn't up yet. I went to Genius and I'm like, English version, English translation of trash talk. That's just how good that shit is. I was like, what the fuck? Like not the random words I get, you know, not the random words we get. I'm like, I want to know what this whole shit says. Like, I just want to know. Um, but yeah, like, and I know a lot of people were kind of like put off when he partnered with Hybe, because you know, and I was like, but it's Zico. Like this is his shit. I don't think he would entrust it to go someplace where he could not be himself. People were like, oh, well, he's not going to be Zico. He's going to be a what? I hope this album allayed your fears. Like I hope you're like, I hope that's not even a thought in your mind anymore. That you were going to get some watered down um, pop esque PG-13 uh, baby version of Zico, because you did not. And I don't think I don't think I never had that fear. But yeah, this album was great from beginning to end. Like you said, no skips. Uh, Soul Drift is probably the most different song on here. It was the title track. So those of you who are coming in and you just saw Zico because you saw Soul Drift come up on your YouTube feed and you're like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, the album is not Soul Drift. Um, don't get
No,
it twisted.
Freak is the song you need to listen to if you want to know the vibe of the
Of
album.
the album, yeah, yeah. The video is like a whole all of us are dead zombie type thing. It's a cool video. I love the video. Um, and that's what I love about Zico is that he can go from one thing to the other. Like you get a soul drift. And again, this is someone who does it well. Um, you get that soul drift vibe, and then you get the straight up rap hip hop vibe, and he mixes those two things very very well. Not everyone can do that. Also, like I said before, if you want to also know Zico and what else he can do, check him, Dean, and Crush Out, Fancy Child. Love it. You know, he's collabed with other. Just go back and check out the full Zico library or catalog. He's one of those that, yeah, once I heard him, I had to go back and do that deep dive on, like find out what else he's done. Like I said, I wasn't big on the block feed, but again, I'm not just crazy about all the groups, but Zico himself, yes. And then, of course, anything that he's done with my boys, Crush and Dean, I'm there for. Fancy Child. I'm putting this out into the atmosphere. I need a Fancy Child collab for the 2020s. You know, that would be great. I need a Crush comeback. That would be great. Dean, where the hell are you? I just need a Dean sighting. That would be great. Um, but yeah, Zico, I can't. I'm so glad he's home. I cannot wait to hear more from Zico. Um, and yeah, just I don't know what else to say about the dude except for he's just badass. One of the best rappers. Um, so yeah. You got anything else to say about Zico before we rate this?
No, let's rate it.
I feel like I should be saying yo yo or something. Don't ask me why. That my brain just went there. Stop rolling your eyes at me. What did you rate it? What are you giving?
Um, so
Grown ass kid.
I am going to rate Zico's comeback, grown ass kid, 4.5 popcorns. When I mean, first of all, I'm gonna put it out there, highest rating out of everything that I've rated for this K-pop review episodes that we're doing. Like absolutely phenomenal. Like the Soul Drift kind of threw me off a little bit. Wasn't necessarily fully on board, but then I heard Freak and I was just like, oh, this album is going to be sick. Like, it's going to be absolutely like crazy. So yeah, but also like I want to say like Zico is multi-talented. I just talked about like Honey and I Am and how they're all rounders. They can sing, they can dance. Like Zico's the same way. He can sing. Some of his greatest hits is him singing as well. So go back, look at his discography. You will not be disappointed in his slow songs as well as his songs where he's just rapping and throwing bars. Just absolutely phenomenal. Like I want to see his company on the map. Like I want to see people talk about KOZ Entertainment because absolutely phenomenal. Like I was actually thinking if Bobby leaves YG, I would like to see Bobby on KOZ Entertainment. Not Heidi, but KOZ Entertainment because I think him and Zico could do a phenomenal job together on putting him out there as a solo artist. What about you?
Yeah. AMG just comes up because that's the first thing that comes up in my mind when I think hip hop in Korea. I know there are other companies and stuff like that, but the more I think about and I did say maybe a smaller company would be a place for him to go, but I could see that. I really, really could. And I think that would probably be a good place for him because Zico has that same experience with um, being the standout in your group and then going solo. Um, and so I think that would be a good mentor type relationship. I don't know how well they get along. I don't know all the logistics behind the scenes logistics, but just on paper, yeah, I could see that. I really, really could. Um, Grown ass kid, just the title alone, love it. Anyone who knows me knows that I would love that title. Um, and it is one of my highest rated. It probably ties for different reasons, but yeah, I gave it a 4.5 as well. And this is a no skips. Soul Drift is a little bit different, but it grows on you, and I'm thinking, okay, so like I said, it's really, really good. There's something on here for everyone. I think my one of my favorites is Nocturnal Animals, just an old school groove, old school hip hop groove. Loved it. Definitely recommend Zico to anyone. And I'll just go ahead, just in case you didn't know. Yes, Monsta X gets that recommendation too. If you don't know how we wax poetic about them for so long. But yeah. What about you?
What do you mean?
Mm, Anything else to add? Are you recommending Monster X?
Yeah, I would recommend Monsta X. Yes, I would recommend Monsta X, and I would definitely recommend Zico.
All right. Well, I think that does it for this episode. Be sure to listen to our other episodes in the series featuring Icon and Treasure and Aespa and we'll say Purple Kiss and La Seraphim, and yes, even ITZY. You have to listen to that episode to see how I felt about that. But that does it for this one. Be sure to also listen, like, follow, subscribe to the Popcorn Wind Down on your favorite listening streaming service, wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, keep up to date on the latest in entertainment and pop culture news with the Daily Wind Down at the popcornwinddown.com. That's it. That's the plug. And be sure to join us for our next episode where we talk TXT tomorrow by Together, same group, ENHYPEN and 17. Until then, I'm Eddie.
And I'm Tammy. Bye.
Peace.